Hello, I'm Robin Gibson, and this is the Harvard House Money Morsel. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the bell so that you get a notification of when we're releasing a new video. I'm sitting again today with Michael Porter. Welcome, Michael.
Morning, Robin.
So, Michael, I'm glad to see that you came out of the Orange River unscathed. That's where Michael's been for the last little while. But, Michael, we sit here day 11, no load shedding. Is this the ANC's perfect election ploy, or is there more to this story than that?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to say no to that, but it's interesting, Robin. You know, you head across that side of the country to the Northern Cape, and you get sort of around the Uppington area, and you can see the solar farms and things. And we pass 3 big solar farms that are operational, and so you can see some of the changes that are happening and transmission lines being built and things like that. So I think maybe for me the first thing is that we never said that load shedding was going to go away this year, but we did say that load shedding was going to be reduced this year, and we could see progress. And so I think when you travel around the country, you can actually see evidence of that progress. Yeah. And then the load shedding, it might be that Easter time is a little bit lower demand. You know, it's been a holiday period, and so I wouldn't place too much store on the fact that load shedding is going to disappear completely. But definitely the quantity is reduced, and if I look at the electricity availability factor, that's up at 57-58% at the moment. That's the highest it's been since October last year. So I don't think any of us say that electricity problems have gone away, but there has been some progress at the margin. And then also it was announced yesterday that all the suspensive conditions to separating the national transmission company have now been met. Yes. So they were hoping that it would be operational in April this year. They're probably going to miss that deadline by a month or so, but actually all the conditions have now been met. So that separation is happening. So, sometimes these things take a long time and they grind on, but actually they are grinding on, and progress is being made. And you can see it around the country when you travel.
So, Michael, one of the things that I read a little while ago is that this new transmission company is going to be allowed to independently purchase power into the grid. So it's not, Eskom no longer is the monopoly from a power point of view. There's a lot more freedom for these guys, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. So the national transmission company's mandate, as I understand it, is basically to procure power from whoever can supply it and whoever can supply it cheaply and reliably, So Eskom generation is one source of power, but all the IPPs and things that are investing in this country are other sources of power. So the transmission company will buy power from whoever can produce it reliably and cheaply. And actually, hopefully electricity prices should also stabilize over time, because you would have private sector power producers producing at a much cheaper cost than Eskom is producing.
Yes, So, if we go back to last year when the load shedding really hit, sort of in the first quarter, starting second quarter, we really got badly impacted. That was when we saw a real disconnect in terms of South Africa versus other emerging markets in terms of performance. Is this a bit of a tailwind potentially into portfolios down the line?
Yeah, Robin, yesterday, so actually Stats SA produce some stats every month, electricity production, electricity consumption. Yeah. Now, since 2019, those have been basically negative. So what's basically saying is that your growth rate, your amount of electricity produced and consumed is falling. Now, over the last couple of months, and the stats were released yesterday as well, we're certainly sitting at 5% growth in consumption and production. Now, part of that is off the low base of last year, because we had intense load shedding in February last year. So we couldn't consume power, and we weren't producing it because we had load shedding. So there is a base effect there. But I think it again speaks to the fact that hopefully 2023 was the worst year that we're going to have for load shedding, and then we're coming off that low base, and we're improving. So yes, companies listen. There's lots of other headwinds. There's interest rates, and we've got a weak consumer, and all those kinds of things. We've got high petrol prices, but from an electricity point of view, you're definitely seeing companies benefiting from less load shedding and less severe load shedding, especially on the retail side. You know, you just, I mean, even our little example here at Harvard House, we're not spending nearly as much money on diesel for our generator as we were 6 months ago or 9 months ago, you know. So, yeah, it does make a difference. At the margin, it all adds up, you know.
And then just very quickly to end, if we can flip the other side of the globe, next week's important because it's sort of quarterly results season in the States. And we're looking at companies carefully because that's going to give us insight into interest rates, just to put the connection together for the viewers.
Yeah, absolutely, Robin. I mean, it's hard to believe we've got into another quarterly reporting cycle in the US already. I mean, where's the year going? You know, so yes, I mean, normally the reporting season kicks off with some of the banks. JP Morgan is normally always the first one to report, and that will be, I think, next Friday, a week today. So I think the market will be looking at this quite closely, Robin, because the market's actually more hawkish than the Fed. The Federal Reserve is still saying 3 interest rate cuts this year. The market doesn't believe it, and the market's pushing it out to sort of maybe 2 cuts and later, which is what we've been saying for quite a long time, is that we don't think rates are starting to fall in June, which is only 2 months away now. So the market's quite hawkish, and I think these results will be quite closely watched for that sort of that tug of war between growth. You almost don't want companies to be too bullish, because if they're too bullish and the economy is growing a bit too quickly, I think that'll fuel the narrative that interest rates aren't going to fall. And I think the biggest risk for this year is that interest rates don't fall at all. Or maybe there's one cut right at the end. You know, so there's definitely that chance. And oil prices at $91 a barrel or thereabouts at the moment. So yes, earnings season will be really important, just from seeing how the companies are reacting. Are they seeing slowdown? If there's a slowdown in the economy, it's going to be a real case of good news is bad news. You know, if there's a slowdown coming, I think that'll be interpreted positively. If company results are really strong, which is actually what you want, I think that'll be interpreted negatively. You know, so you look at the headline and the market has an opposite reaction. Don't think you're going crazy. The market is crazy.
Yeah, well, good news is bad news. Welcome to a world where asset managers turn everything on their head. Michael, thanks for giving us those insights. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.